Hi, listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Gathered Glow. I'm your host, Jackie Price, and we are revisiting part 2 of Dare to Believe with Vascola Grant. If you listened to our last episode, then you know there's a lot of power in belief. And so we're excited to dive back in. We are going to start with her spoken word, and then we'll jump right into the conversation. I hope you really find this inspiring and connect with it. Leave your comments below, share this with a friend, like, subscribe, all the things. And next week we'll have the final part 3 posted. Enjoy.
Okay, so we've been talking about believing, and this dare to believe is that business of having the audacity, right, to believe, the audacity to think highly of yourself, not too highly, but to think highly of yourself and to believe in yourself and all that you are. So that's what the dare, is. So here goes. I dare you to stop believing the voices in your head unless they echo what the word of God says, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. The price for your sin has already been paid because God so loved the world that he gave Jesus, who gave his life to save. So I dare you to believe so you can live, because that's why Jesus died like he did. Oh, strong winds will blow and you might bend. You might even find yourself in the lion's den with the heat turned up 7 times, and then your heart might break over and over again. But I dare you to believe that God is truly your friend. It is he who determines who, what, where, how, and when. It is he who blows and controls the wind. So I dare you to believe past your doubt that lack of faith brings about, and just about the time when you're ready to give up, oh, I dare you to believe that God will show up and show out. I dare you to believe that he will open a window and pour and pour and pour and pour more blessings than you'll ever have room enough to store. I dare you to believe his promise. I dare you to believe, because let's be honest, if you don't believe, you will never be able to perceive all that is possible for you to achieve when you dare to not be scared, to refuse to live in despair, to say, never mind, life ain't been no crystal stair, to use the power of prayer to increase your courage to believe. I dare you to believe that there will be no more weeping and wailing, because you dare to believe in God. There is no failing. I dare you to reach for his hymn and believe that in him all things are possible. I dare you to believe that he is the Savior. He's a comforter, a keeper, a deliverer, and a redeemer. He's a rewarder to those who diligently seek him. He's a giver to those who believe when they ask him, and he is faithful to the one who trusts him. I dare you to trust him. I dare you to trust the will of the one who will never leave you to do his will without him. I dare you to know so much about him that no matter what come what may, nothing can make you doubt him. I dare you to believe in you, that you are one of a kind, and no other kind he created was created like you. So I dare you to believe and keep believing, because then you will dream and keep dreaming. You will reach and keep reaching. You will ask and keep asking. You will seek and keep seeking. You will find and keep finding. And then there will be no denying that your believing has led to your defying the possibility of anything ever being able to stop you from believing. So go ahead, make my day. I dare you. Dare to believe.
Harder to know your power. And I think your belief in that power becomes limited because you believe you're the things that happen to you, not who you are.
Right. And sometimes those outer things, even our temple, right? It's a protection for our souls.
Yes.
It protects our chest. Our heart sits behind.
Yes.
It's so precious. It needs to be protected, right? So it sits behind a layer of something. And sometimes there are cracks in it, right? And sometimes there are scrape. I have a piece called Masterpiece Creator. And the line is, my imperfections make me perfect. Perfect for my creator's purpose. So don't be fooled by the scratches on my surface.
Yeah.
Because I'm a piece of work, but I'm rare. So I must insist you handle me with care. You can't just pick me up and put me down, move me around, trying to shake me, trying to break me, trying to see how far you can take me, trying to sell me, then trying to buy me, trying to hold me back and deny me. No. And I call the scars, like I used to try to hide this. I have a huge scar on my leg from a car accident.
Wow.
And I used to try to hide it. I wouldn't wear dresses unless they were maxi to cover it. And then it occurred to me, you're tampering with evidence. That's evidence of from where he brought you, and you're tampering with it. You're hiding it, right? Somebody sees that scar and they go, "Oh my God, what happened?" And then I can tell them how we ran first into the base of a light post, and I had to be pulled out of the car. And as soon as I got pulled out of the car, it was engulfed in flames. I got to be able to tell somebody how I survived that accident. But if I want to hide this, then I don't get to share that testimony, right? He brings us through so that we can share that we have come through, not to hide behind and pretend that we've never been in a place, that we've not to hide my flaws to pretend that I'm flawless.
Yeah.
No, right? I can't help anybody like that. But we use things even like fear is a protector.
Yeah, it is.
Because it keeps us from going to a place where we think we might get hurt. So there is fear in a good place. But then when fear keeps me from moving,
Yeah.
then it becomes a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think like in showing your scars, you get more comfortable with showing all of you. And I think people even try to hide the best parts of them. And I'll say people, I'll speak for myself. I think even the power that you are. I think sometimes we get a little like,
And why? Because we don't believe we deserve to have that power?
because we don't believe that it was earned, or maybe we know we deserve to have it, but yeah, there is I think societally, for me, there's a system that says you need to earn something. And if you are just it, I think it can intimidate others. And if you are too bright, it can make others uncomfortable. And if you stand out too much, you make yourself a target.
Listen.
And so I'm
Listen,
saying,
I get it. And it made me raise up. It made me change my posture, because the truth is, no, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve any of it. I don't even deserve to be sitting here with you having this amazing conversation. This is not based on what I deserve. So nothing I have or nothing that I am is based on anything that I have done. It's all based on what God has decided to do. And so, there's a song I'm hearing. You can't put the blame on me. I'm doing what God says. You got a problem? Do you take it to God, right? Yeah. And hiding who I had. Oh my gosh. This Masterpiece Creator piece came from Dr. Cynthia Hale. Is an amazing pastor and preacher, woman of God, and she came to Wheeler years and years ago after she had written a book called "I'm a Piece of Work," and she was coming to speak to the women's ministry. It was a women's ministry event where all the women were there, and I was asked to write a piece, and I don't think I had even read the book. But just the title of the piece, "I'm a Piece of Work," came Masterpiece Creator. I did the piece. After the event was over, she was in the hallway in the lobby signing books, right? And when I went up to get my book signed, she looked at me. She says, "Listen, you do not need to dumb yourself down to make the world comfortable." And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? How do you even How do you even know that every now and then, I'm kind of feeling like that, right? Right? And so the gifts that God has given us, he gave them to us, and the personalities that go with them for the people that we were going to meet and the people that we need that kind of boldness in order to impact, right? Somebody with a more, I'd say to myself, I know people do not want to hear this loud voice all the time. And there may not be maybe some people who don't, but there are some people who God says, no, what I'm going to give you to speak needs to be spoken a certain way. So I'm giving you the personality to do it. I'm giving you the power to do it. I'm giving you the places to go do it. All I need you to do is have the I need you to trust me to go and do it. And sometimes we're putting more on people than that we're projecting onto people what shouldn't be projected, because they're not always feeling like that. They're going, wow, oh my God, I love it. Oh, your voice is so pop. And I'm thinking, I've been thinking, oh, my voice is so loud. No. So we try to anticipate what people are thinking based on what we are thinking, what we believe about ourselves. And so it starts
It'll reveal it to you. It starts here.
Exactly. It starts right here. So if we think we're too much, folks are not thinking we're too much.
Yeah.
God says you're not too much.
People could tell you 100 times. They could tell you 100 times that you are amazing in every way. But if you don't believe it about yourself, it's an uphill.
Then they're just like clanging cymbals.
Yeah.
They sound like Charlie Brown's teacher.
For a moment, thank you. And then it's gone. And you're back to thinking your same loop, your same cycle.
And why? That's
why.
That's what, like I said,
because that's getting to a deeper level.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's not just that we believe, and not even just what we believe. Why?
A lot of people, I don't think, want to. So I think for me, I always say I'm not a therapist, psychologist. These are my thoughts. I think that tracing back the why, you find so many roots. Some of which happen in life experiences. Some of them maybe occurrences that happen to you. Others, way deeper.
Yeah.
Way deeper to places that I can't always pinpoint for some people, but I'm like, you can go. Sometimes I'm like, that wasn't even your burden you're carrying. You're carrying someone else's. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was from your family, from friends, from your culture, from your society, someone else's that was never meant to be yours right now.
Right. And so
you need to learn from this. And the weight that you carry, though, for however long you have to carry it in life, it strengthens you. So when you put it down, you rise even faster and higher, and you are ready to fly. When you are ready to release that which is not yours, there is no stopping how far someone will soar.
And here's the thing. To the point you made before about us thinking that we are too much. It's exactly why you had to be bold enough to do this podcast, right? It's exactly why I have to be bold enough to take this big old voice that I'll say they said God gave me, and now I have to believe and not feel some kind of way that I could. It's okay for me to say God gave me a big voice.
Yeah.
Because it's the truth, right? As long as I know that it's a voice that God gave me. But it's because of us that, and our responsibility is to say to them what you just said needs to be said to them. Ooh. We cannot see them in that space and not help get them out from that space. We have to tell them, even if we're trying to pinpoint where it's like, it's difficult to go there, but only reason we're going to go there is because we got to go find that place. Where were you when you stopped believing? Because there was a time.
There's a time.
When you felt a different way about yourself.
And you can find it if you're willing, if that person is willing to go with you to trace it back to the moment. There's times where I'm like, that's it. And they're like, that's not it. I'm like, that's it. Keep going deeper there. Yeah. Keep going down. Like, but there are other times where I feel like there have been people that I know I can't touch that for you. I can't even help touch that for you. You have to do it. And something is telling me totally hands off, silence. Like, you have to. Other things will come and help you along the way and guide you and show you. But I'm being told It's not me.
You're in my head,
Yeah.
because what I was going to say
Okay.
is some of those things are so difficult and so
Yes. Yes.
deeply rooted
Yes.
that what we need to say to them is there's more here. You should get some, and we
Yes.
got to be able
Yes.
to, so we got to put egos aside if we have them,
Yeah.
to say, this is as far as I can go with this. I think you need to call somebody else. I
Yeah.
think you need to talk to, because it's important enough. And we got to tell
Big
for
enough.
the
Yeah.
reason why you got to be. I believe that you're worth it. So you have to believe now that you are still worth it.
Yes.
Whatever happened for did not, it's business of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, it didn't kill me, but I still don't
It
feel
hurts.
stronger yet.
Yes.
Yet.
Yeah.
The truth to that is that because it didn't kill me, it left me the opportunity to now go get some help and get stronger.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily make me stronger. I don't feel stronger, but because I still have life, I have the opportunity to now go and get stronger by dealing with it,
Yeah.
because it didn't kill me. It did not kill me. As long as I still have life and breath, and as long as I know that God is not a man that he should lie. So when he says he promised never to leave me nor forsake me, I got to know he's been with me the whole time.
Yeah.
Because if he wasn't, then guess where I would not be? Sitting right here talking to you about having the audacity to believe
You have
in
to have
myself.
audacity. Audacity is a big component to it. I think for so long, there was part of me that like how this ties into this. It will tie into this. I was like angry a little bit about being alive. I was like, like I loved it. I'm happy. All these things, but I was like, this is hard. And I know it sounds like whatever it sounds like to some people, but I felt like I remember the connection. I remember where I was from before being here. And I was so sad and longed. I'm like, I loved it. Like everything, like the peace, like this is challenging here. What's going on? I realized I finally asked, like, okay, so the answer I was told was you asked to be here, and the actual answer was you asked to be here because you wanted to experience dying, and not in the sense of like dying, like I want to die. It was like showing me like the love and the heartache of love, the aging process, the changes, the growth, the light and the darkness. You wanted to experience this. You asked for all of this as a gift for you. And that for me, and I know like hard things are hard things, and I've been through things that I'm like, I do not wish that on anyone. No, I wouldn't want to run that back. No, thank you. But I see it differently. I almost see everything now, even though going through it, I'm like, this is still discomfort. It still feels like discomfort. There's a part of me that's like, what a gift it is to feel that.
Mm-hmm.
What a gift it
Mm-hmm.
is to cry about the loss of someone that I love so dearly. What a gift. And it's hard to get to a point to say that to someone. And I don't expect others to be there or to get that ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was a process, right? In the moment, and I never feel that way. In the moment, I'm not like sobbing, like this is a gift, right?
Right.
But there is a space where I am able to get there and be like, wow, like it changes like the gratitude I have for the smallest moments, the smallest things. And the doors that shut now for me, I say thank you. Thank you for knowing that for whatever reason I wasn't supposed to have that person, that place, that thing, whatever it is. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And there's part of my brain belief that is still like, but we really want it, please. Like sometimes it tries to reopen the door and then gets hurt sometimes when I push the door open. It's like, okay, that really wasn't meant for me. Thank you. Now I learned going forward to really trust the moment that I feel like that's off and you've already shut the door. I don't need a bulldozer to kick it in. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm going to leave it, walk away. And you always provide better every single time, every time. And the thing about belief is that I think it starts to compound a little bit. I think that when you start believing good things will come your way and you align with it. And it's deeper than your mind belief. I think when you fully spiritually, mentally, and like even physically, you have to start doing the right things to say that I want this too. When you start aligning, it starts moving and you don't even know where it's about to come from, but it's already making its way to you. But I think that we live in a society now that tells us often to believe you're worthy when. Believe you're worthy when you hit this beauty standard. Believe you're worthy when you hit this success. Believe you're worthy when you get this much money. Believe you're worthy when you go out on Christmas Day and there's a bow on a new car in the driveway. Believe you're worthy when you have this luxury or when you have this. And it's always telling people you're not good enough or like you need more or you should have more or like lusting over this or being this or be fear driven by this. And it is like, it is the kryptonite to true belief inside of yourself because none of that, I don't care if you were dripping in couture and luxury,
Absolutely.
does not change the power of you. Nothing, right? Until you truly know. And I think like Jesus did such a important message in his upbringing and how he lived to show that truth, but it's still something that society tells you what to believe too, and it's hard because
and so
dopamine hits 24/7 on your phone now telling you
absolutely.
something.
So listen, and I was going to go back, but I'll start even right there with Jesus. So all of what the world says that makes you worthy or gives you value. You have to have education at this level. You have to live in this community. You have to know this many people. You have to wear these things, right? And I can hear Jesus says, how many of them you place your value in what they say? How many of them were willing to die for you? How many of them gave their life or would give their lives to save yours? How many? Right? So my value, and again, I acknowledge the power or the influence of the world and how we look at the world and see what the world values, and then we try to become that, as opposed to looking at who God already made us. See, the world has more value because of us. We don't have more value because of the world. And I think once we believe that, then we change how we move. I don't move according to how the world moves. I move according to how God told me to move so that I can have an influence on the world. And it works when we remember why we are here. Not to wait, not for the world to make us better, but for us to make the world better. Right?
Yes.
One person, from one person to the next person to the next person.
Yeah.
So then my value is not created based on what the world says, but about what God has already said when he said, I love you so much. Let me show you how much I love you. Jesus, this is your assignment. He put himself, if you believe in the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, that they're all the same, that they're three in one. He said, I'm going to have to give myself for you. I'm willing to do that for you. The world wants to take from you. That's what the world, give me from you. And if I can't get anything from you, then you have no value because I can't get anything from you. The world does not realize the value that we are.
But the world, it's like the world we're talking about here is like, I feel like nature gives to us, right? Mother Nature gives. And, there's a lot of people that give. But the world is made up of people that think that taking is the right way or greed or all of these things. And so it's difficult because I think for a lot of people who have a belief, whether it's a religious belief or like in their faith, even that can become a box that you choose to put people in and deem them as good, bad, but you're here, you're there, you're blah, blah, right? Mm-hmm. And that belief can start I think like on certain levels of my own like faith or my own understanding of things, it gets so not blurred, but it's not easily, you can't easily compartmentalize people. And I think the first and second commandment is all I like choose to like, I'm like, I live by that. That is me, which is to love the Lord my God with all my heart, all my soul. The second is to love my neighbors like, and
Like myself.
but I think what we forget is that your neighbors might not believe what you believe. Your neighbors might not do what you think you should do. They may be extremely, extremely different from you. They could be takers. They could not be the givers. And I realize that it's not my belief in you doing the right thing. I think sometimes people exhaust themselves trying to change people. You don't have agency to do that. They are already created, not by you. So your one job is to allow them to have their life. And if it interferes with yours, I get that can be very frustrating. And I get that you might need to use your voice and you can, but keeping the reminder of like, your belief does not have to be someone else's.
Does not have to be. And the commandment was for you to, it's very clear, and so important. He was asked what the greatest commandment is. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. There was no second question asked. But because it was so important, he offered it anyway. Now, you didn't ask me this, but let me tell you what's number 2. Love your neighbor as yourself. That's it.
And what does that mean?
Not
that one right there. That one right there is
because
so.
And here's the thing. He didn't just tell you what to do and leave you. He told you to love, but also he told you what love looks like. The love he's asking you to show to your neighbor, to be kind, to not envy, right? To not hold everything, to not keep a record of right or wrong. It's simple. He tells you what to do, not what to feel. Right. So the pastor at my church, at Greater Friendship Baptist Church in Anchorage, Alaska, every day, every Sunday or every Wednesday when we're on a prayer call, it's always he just talks about love, love, love. And then when we get in the service, it's like, look at somebody at your left and your right and tell them you love them. And we've had a discussion where folks, it's like, well, but I don't even know them. Nobody asks you to know them, right? You love people that you didn't know before. So don't come in here, acting like, oh, this is such a foreign concept. And it's like, well, I don't feel like. He didn't ask you to feel something.
Yeah, that's
He asked you to
difference.
do something. And the things he asked you to do is to be respectful, to be kind, to be patient, right? And so it makes it easier for us to do those things. He didn't say for me to invite you into my house because I don't know you yet, I'm not subject to inviting you into my house. If I'm showing you patience and showing you kindness, perhaps maybe you will be compelled to show somebody else some patience, and that's how love spreads.
I love that. Yes.
If we wait to know everybody or to feel love before we show love, when are we ever going to do
But
it?
I think that the granite underneath a lot of this is that people don't know how to have those conversations or show love to themselves,
Well,
which makes it then challenging to show to others, and or compassion to themselves or forgiveness or like releasing themselves from like shame or guilt and like talking through even with themselves. Like it's hard to have an emotional connection or felt presence with someone else if you're not holding that space inside of yourself
Right.
first,
So-
which means you got to clear out some of the debris a little
So
bit.
I get it. So it makes the commandment even harder,
Yeah.
even harder to follow, right?
Yeah.
So then it's simple too. He's telling you how to be with others. So then you can start doing those little things with yourself, being patient with yourself.
Are we
That'll-
though?
Listen,
But
you
are
can't-
we?
No, we're not. But but that's why he tells us to do
Yeah.
it, because we're not doing it. But we can
Yeah.
be patient. So be patient, even if you got to talk to yourself. Jackie, be patient with yourself. I know you didn't do everything right today, but be patient with yourself. Give yourself a break.
I'm very patient now.
Look in the mirror and talk to you. I have to do it with myself all the time.
That's very
Sometimes I simply
helpful.
have to tell myself to shut up, because I'm not doing right by me. Right? I
Yeah.
told somebody, it's like, this business of what you would say to your former self or your younger self, and I would simply, I look in the mirror, I apologize. I'm sorry, I didn't do you right. I haven't done you right.
Yeah.
I haven't done right by you. I was not patient with you. I blame you for things that were not your fault. I didn't encourage you to get help with the things that I didn't make you do this. I didn't allow you to cry when you needed to cry. I am sorry. Start all. Can we start all over? Use in the mirror. This is me, literally in the mirror. Okay, can you forgive me? And
Mhm.
let's go do this, because we can,
Yeah.
right? And so loving your neighbor as yourself
Yeah.
is difficult, because the other commandment that he's given you in loving your neighbor as yourself is to love yourself.
Yes.
Right? So he
Yes.
says, as yourself. He
Yes.
puts you on the tail end. So that's the part that you'll remember first, as myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I got to learn how to love myself. Okay, how do I do that? I
Yeah.
start being patient with myself. And for every mistake that I've made, every misstep that I made that I would say is the reason why I'm so hard on myself, I have to remember, if I believe that all my sins were nailed to the cross, right? But that he died for my sins, past, present, and future. If I believe that, then I should be able to say to myself, honey, he paid that. He paid for that. Don't you pay all over again for that, right? But it goes back to, do I actually believe that?
Do you actually
Do
believe?
I believe that?
I, do you actually, for many, I'm just like, do you actually believe you're loved? Do you actually believe that you trust yourself?
Do you
Do you actually believe that you can't? Like, it's like simple questions that like really are not simple, right?
are
Like,
not simple? But is the question, do I love myself, or is the question is, do I believe I can love? Do you want to love yourself? That's a good question. Do you want to? Do you wish, if you are somebody who doesn't? Do you wish somewhere in the back of you, oh, I wish I could just love myself. Oh, I wish I could just forgive myself. Oh, I wish I could just give myself. I wish I could start all over with me. Do I want that? It starts with a desire. Even
yeah,
doing things, it starts with the desire. I don't necessarily want to have to deal with my neighbor a certain way, but I desire to be obedient to God. So that desire pushes me to do what God has asked me to do, because that's what, and I do want to love myself. I want to be able to stop going back every time I turn around to days of the past. And because I want to, then now I'm able to say, okay, tell me how to do that.
there's
Tell me how I do
there's
that.
a, I don't know if it's ironic or just I think in my like spiritual and my life journey and life like and how I lead and everything I do, there are two sides of the spectrum sometimes like opposing. One is they don't oppose, but it sometimes feels like it, which in love we want to hold it so much. We want to keep it. We want to feel love inside, but you have to release. And some of the things that you want, you have to do the opposite of what you feel like you want to cling to. And I think that like space of opposites can be hard for someone when they believe one thing. Because it's like in order to be freer, you actually to gain more in life, to gain more capacity for love, to gain more capacity for compassion, you have to go and do something that doesn't feel like you always want to, you know? You have to release control for so much to gain so much more. And I think we come from a very control driven, like, I want to control how this person will respond to me. I want to know the outcome of this. I want to know that that's going to be okay. I want to know I won't get hurt if I go and do that. I want to know. I want proof. I don't want uncertainty. I want this. I want this. I don't want any doubt. I don't want risk. So I say I want these things. I say I want to be loved. I say I want to love myself. But even in loving your own self, there comes a risk because that means you trust yourself. That means you go after bigger things. That means you're bolder. That means that you will not keep yourself small anymore for the comfort of others. And that is risky. That is the riskiest thing, because in all ways you're vulnerable. You peel back all of your layers and you say, this is me and I trust it here. I'm going after my bigness to be loved. I have to show myself in order to be loved.
Yes. Okay. So, but the first thing you said is, yes, to have what we've never had before, we may have to do what we've never done before.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to open up. And so it goes back to identity.
Oh.
Who do I believe?
Let's get to identity.
Who do I believe I am truly, right? And that my identity is not, the world didn't give me my identity.
No.
Right? The world didn't create me.
No.
The world does not make me who I am. I'm here to be an influence in the world. Ephesians 2:10 says, for we are God's workmanship. That's one translation. My translation, the one I like, says, for we are his masterpiece, created in Christ to do good works, which he outlined before we even got here. We were created to make an impact on the world, not the other way around, right? And so that's my identity. I'm here to make, I'm God's masterpiece. I don't care what you think about me. I am his masterpiece. There's a certain way that he thought about me before he created me, pictured me in his mind before he did one thing. He saw me before he made me. He took, that's the reverence he took. In the piece, the masterpiece created says, ooh, the reverence he took in refining me. Fearfully and wonderfully I am made, and for that my creator gets total praise. So there was an assignment that God had for my life and mapped it all out and created me to fill that assignment. And that assignment is to be an impact from the inside out, not from the outside in, right? So once I get a better understanding, once I believe more about who I am and let that solidify in me, that even if this thing happened and that thing happened, I am still innately who God created me to be, then even if I open myself up to be loved and get disappointed, I realize, and I know it's not easy. I realize, so one, when I love me, I'm a little more careful about how much I open up, about where I open up, about who I get.
You feel it
absolutely,
yes.
I absolutely, because now I got to protect what God has given me. I have to protect the heart as much as I possibly can. I have to protect my heart. Now, you mentioned it earlier when in grief. I've said, and you did say, you have to be careful how you say it to some people and when you say it to some people. I was doing a book club, for a book that I was given 100 Days of Believing Bigger. And so we talked about grief, and I was able to say, based on the relationship I had developed with the sisters who were coming, that grief is the price we pay for the love we got to enjoy. And so then you,
how beautiful, because love is never gone. And I think it's complicated, and I understand it. You know?
And so then you say, well, why does that hurt so much? Oh, because you don't know my father. I loved him, and we had this relationship. You had that. If you didn't have that, hearing about the death of that person would be something you would say, oh, I'm so sorry for them, but it means nothing to me because you don't have that. But once you feel that love, and that the loss is greater depending on the level of love that was there. And so we got to sometimes, we get to the place where we can appreciate that I had the opportunity to love an amazing person.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to learn from an amazing person.
It's an opportunity. Right? This life is all an opportunity. Yeah. Everything you get to do is an opportunity. Thank you all for tuning in. Please tune in next week as well. for part 1 and part 2. And we appreciate you so much. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. Keep shining.